Welcome to Bricolage, the joy of clutter. This channel celebrates living with lots of stuff. Unlike minimalism, which encourages us to get rid of as many things as we possibly can to lead the best life, we're going to take a different approach and see what it's like to live with tons and tons of things, which is what I do, which is what I've always done pretty much my whole life. I've always been, I don't know if you'd call it a maximalist or whatever, but I'm really into yard sales and thrift shops. And the people in the town where I live, they have more money than sense. They get rid of some of the most amazing things at the dump. So pretty much my whole house was furnished from the dump, and everything I own except for socks and underwear used to belong to someone else. The only problem is that my husband is from Maine, and we've been in the Massachusetts area for about 12 years now, and he does not like it here. He's just not impressed. So we are moving to Maine. And along with this move to Maine comes the directive that I need to get rid of a bunch of things, or at least consolidate them. And I'm okay with that because, I'll show you my house and you'll understand. But at the same time, I also want to make sure that sustainability is really important to me. So if I can upcycle any of these things or give them away in a manner where I'm not just essentially pawning my stuff off that I don't want on someone else, then that's really important to me. And the other thing that's really important to me is to communicate the message that even if your house is quote unquote messy, that it's not that big of a deal, because there can be a lot of joy in living in mess. There was a study they did. I'll put a link in the description below in case you'd like to read it for yourself. And for women especially, our experience of home is instrumental in terms of our stress and our moods. What they did is they had 60 couples take the researchers on a kind of home tour where they would walk through their homes and describe what they thought, what they saw, this, that, and the other thing. And then the researchers used this linguistic analysis method, and they categorized whether the people thought their homes were either stressful or restorative. And they linked that with cortisol, which is related to stress, among other things. And they found that the women who had described their homes like as a lot of clutter, a lot of unfinished things and broken things, that type, they had higher levels of stress, which were indicated by, I think it was a flatter diurnal cortisol slope. Whereas the men, it was much different. Even when their homes were stressful, they weren't impacted on the same level. So that really got me thinking about how we think about where we live and our spaces. And I'm interested in trying to help people, because I used to be like this myself. I was really worried when people come over, and I kind of conflated my self-worth with the cleanliness of my house. And now I just don't care, as you will see on my home tour. And I am hopeful that as I show you my house, that you can feel better about your own and maybe get some ideas, and happy in the comments if you have any ideas about what I should do here, because I'm at a little bit of a loss in terms of where to start. I wouldn't change anything, honestly, but I understand that, moving is a huge thing, especially from where we are now, and it's going to be smaller and we need to downsize. So without further ado, I am going to show you my house. You may have noticed that I collect hats. I have a lot of hats that I have gotten from various places. So I'll show you. That's my closet. Yeah, there's a lot of chaos here. So it is what it is. I definitely have upwards of 100 hats and whatnot. I have, as you can see, pretty much taken over the entire master bedroom here. One of these hats, the red, white, and blue one there, was made by a milliner who used to work for Disney. So I thought that was pretty neat. And most of the rest of them are from a milliner in the South called Jack McConnell. So this is the bedroom. It's not too bad. I mean, it is what it is. There's just a lot of stuff. And the closet, I took over the entire closet in our bedroom, so my husband built his own closet. That was nice. I have a lot of clothes. Now we're going to walk out here into this space. This is kind of like a multi-purpose hallway that we have. The Keurig machine is here. That's something we use almost every day. There's a little refrigerator here. We're on the second floor right now. Yeah, that picture, that came from the dump. Someone didn't want that. I have a lot of bookcases. One thing that's important to me when we move is that I want one really nice bookcase. Even a library would be nice. Some of my books. I have a lot of books. I'm a math teacher. This picture here is a reprint of an artist named Louis Wayne. He painted cats, and it's interesting, he had mental health issues. And as his kind of mental health deteriorated, the way that he painted cats changed. Really neat. If you want to look up his work, I'll put a link in the description below. This was a photo project that I did. I did all different toys taking selfies of themselves with Buddha. I thought that was fun. And we're gonna go, that's my kids' bathroom over there. And this hallway here. Wait. I completely forgot something. Seeing as this is the first episode I've ever done, actually the first thing I've ever done on YouTube, I should have defined the word bricolage because it is not an English word, it's a French word. Bricolage, it doesn't have an exact translation, but it's often synonymous with do-it-yourself. So I like to think of MacGyver, only a broader spectrum MacGyver. So not just about tools and making, parachutes and explosives. It's about being creative and doing the most you can with what you have around you. So I think bricolage and having a lot of stuff naturally go together. It's hard to do a lot of school projects and things like that with your kids if you don't have a lot of miscellaneous things laying around. And one of the things that really that I'm passionate about is taking things and seeing them not for what they are, but for what they could be. There's a term in psychology called functional fixedness, where, for example, you have a bunch of objects and people are asked to complete a task. Let's say you had one of these objects was, I don't know, a fork, right? And because we're so kind of limited in how we usually think about what a fork is and its affordances, that people will often not optimally solve these problems because they're limited by this functional fixedness. And my version, my conception of bricolage is to take things and to, whenever possible, either repurpose or upcycle them instead of just having to bring them to the dump or even donate them, because sometimes then, especially like with certain items like clothes, that creates a whole secondary burden, and we don't really understand, I think, or appreciate, we're disconnected from our trash. So one of my goals during this move is to create as little trash as possible. We're going to have, obviously, an epic yard sale, but I would like to go through and kind of categorize what I have in my home right now. Honestly, I am not 100% sure of everything that we own because a few years ago we'd done a home hospice with my father, and all of his stuff kind of just flowed here, and I haven't gone through it yet. And I'm working from home right now with the school closures due to COVID-19. And I thought it would be a good time to, like I mentioned before, try and not only help people rethink their own homes and to really embrace having a lot of stuff, because it's just a different aesthetic. Minimalism is one way to be happy. Having a bunch of stuff and being a clutterbug is another way. But that message doesn't often get communicated. if you have enjoyed this and if you're interested in next time, I think I'm going to go downstairs into the kitchen and the living room area. And that's, yeah. Anyway, please like, subscribe, share, and thank you for joining me for this first episode of Bricolage. Hope you have a great day.